You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by Xerox in 4 parts without commercial interruptions. The revolution will not show you pictures of Nixon blowing a bugle and leading a charge by John Mitchell, General Abrams, and Spyro Agnew to eat hog maws confiscated from a Harlem sanctuary. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by the Schaefer Award Theater and will not star Natalie Woods and Steve McQueen or Bullwinkle and Julia. The revolution will not give your mouth sex appeal. The revolution will not get rid of the nub. The revolution will not make you look 5 pounds thinner because the revolution will not be televised, brother. There will be no pictures of you and Willie Mae pushing that shopping cart down the block on the dead run or trying to slide that color TV into a stolen ambulance. NBC will not be able to predict the winner at 8:32 on report from 29 districts. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of Whitney Young being run out of Harlem on a rail with a brand new process. There will be no slow motion or still life of Roy Wilkins strolling through Watts in a red, black, and green liberation jumpsuit that he has been saving for just the proper occasion. Green Acres, Beverly Hillbillies, and Hooterville Junction will no longer be so damn relevant, and women will not care if Dick finally got down with Jane on Search for Tomorrow, because black people will be in the street looking for a brighter day. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no highlights on the 11 o'clock news and no pictures of Harry armed women liberationists and Jackie Onassis blowing her nose. The theme song will not be written by Jim Webb or Francis Scott Keys, nor sung by Glenn Campbell, Tom Jones, Johnny Cash, Engelbert Humperdinck, or The Rare Earth. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be right back after a message about a white tornado, white lightning, or white people. You will not have to worry about a dove in your bedroom, the tiger in your tank, or the giant in your toilet bowl. The revolution will not go better with coke. The revolution will not fight germs that may cause bad breath. The revolution will put you in the driver's seat. The revolution will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised. The revolution will be no rerun, brothers. The revolution will be live.
Hail, hail, and welcome to the HomeBhoys live podcast here on Monday, the 15th of September at 7:30. This is a monumental week for many reasons. What?
22.
All right. That's a great start to the show. You're just going to fucking shed all over my timekeeping thing?
Yeah, you should half past.
Listen, what you need to know as well, people listen to this. I can say it's 2:15. People are listening to this in the 7:30 in the morning on a podcast, like on their phones. It doesn't matter what time I say it is. You know what I mean?
Just keep you right, man.
It's like fucking Michael Parkinson's fucking presenting courses. Anyway, so this is a big week. It's a big show. We're going to have a good chat. Lots of things going on. 3 points on the board. Decent performance. Going the right direction. Lots of things to talk about. So let's get cracking. No more of this pish. Joined by the usual, Jason Higgins. You there?
Hail, hail.
Hail, hail, sir. You were at the game at the weekend, obviously.
Oh, was I?
I seen the pictures. You brought the 2 lassies along.
Aye, alien or pal.
And they enjoy it,
Aye. She did always enjoy it. Yeah.
And of course, David Harper.
All right.
Here to keep me right, point out all my flaws and mistakes for play.
I was doing that one, I've been doing nothing else.
Just fuck us. And we're joined by an extra special guest, the one and only Podfather, Lost Boys legend. He's on a podcast farewell tour, longer than fucking Phil Collins. So, here he is, ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, the original, Chris McGuigan.
My God, Joe, that was the bottom of the ball getting well scratched there, wasn't it? Good to join you, gentlemen, and this is the last HomeBhoys of the United Kingdom.
Yeah. You can tell by Chris's phone that he's on a CB radio in a cave somewhere in fucking deepest, darkest China.
That's what it feels like, to be honest with you. I have to keep the voice down here because I'm in Middle England, of course.
Absolutely. You don't want the neighbours knowing what you're really like, do you?
Actually, just moved in a new house over the weekend, and on Sunday afternoon, I met my new neighbour. We'll have to keep the voice down here. I met my new neighbour, and then about 5 o'clock in the evening, I saw him out washing his windows in the nip, which was a real good start. The wife was well played. There's nothing wrong with that, like.
The neighbours will never hear him because the kind of place Chris lives, the neighbours' houses are like 50 metres apart.
Aye, it is. It's like
I'm sorry, at the bottom of the road he was.
They call him Gatsby. That's his nickname in the neighbourhood. Good Gatsby. Anyway, Chris, how are you? You're doing good, yeah?
Doing good, Joe. Doing good. Sort of missed doing the podcast, but sort of had a few things go on and new job, new house, all that kind of stuff. I haven't got around yet, but I'll get back into it soon, I think.
Maybe if you want to socialising, you have a better social life than Oliver Reed.
Well, I don't know what it is, but every time you text me, I seem to be in the pub.
That's what most alcoholics say.
Is it the Fox and Hound you're drinking these days?
All part of the job, Jason, you just have to join in.
What we don't know is he's sitting there fucking with a bugle in his mouth and smoking a pipe.
He's sitting in a major.
Anyway, that's the fucking ripping the piss out of Chris's lifestyle. So let's get down to talking about some football. We're going to wind up talking about the referendum.
Go to the election.
What?
Go to the election.
It's not an election. It's not an election. It's not a political choice. Really? Well, it's
the referendum.
So we're going to get into that. I intend to devote a good bit of time to that tonight. But let's talk about the exciting game on Saturday morning. I was really excited because I knew some new faces were going to be on the pitch. That's always a good thing. The crowd looked to be good. It's great to see Scott Brown back. I mean, fucking the difference he made was fantastic. But I mean, for you, Jason, going to the game, I mean, was there a good buzz going to the game? Was everybody kind of in the same sort of mind, thinking, right, we're going to see some new boys today, and we're on some sort of path here?
Aye, to be fair, I drove in. I took the kids, and I took my daughter and my pal, and I drove in, so I wasn't in town before the game or anything. And to be fair, the motorway was pretty quiet. So see when I got parked, no bother, and walked up to the game. Lovely day, shorts on, t-shirt, brilliant. And everybody out canvassing for the referendum, all sorts of yes badges and that getting handed about, and it was really good atmosphere, good buzz getting in. And as I say, I had my doubts about the crowd because it was easy to get parked and stuff, but no, the ground filled right up. I believe there was over, I think official attendance was 43,000 or 44,000. I said in the game there was more than 40 there, and I think Aberdeen had about 3,000 to 4,000. They had an excellent support, and to be fair, they were the only ones that were really singing. You know, we were a bit subdued, obviously, because of the lack of the Green Brigade and stuff like that. But no, I enjoyed the first half. Do you want me to get into my experience of the game? Do you want me to give you my match report?
Yes, please.
Right. So I enjoyed the first half. I was delighted to see a couple of new signings, Skepovic and Tonev starting, and obviously Craig Gordon. Good to see him in goals. I think I've got no problems with him at all. And got Scott Brown coming back. What a boost that was. You know, I was delighted to see Brown back, and he just injected that bit of energy and just gave the players that bit of belief, and it was as if the captain was here. So always good. Game started off brilliant, but one thing I've seriously got to question: Ronnie Delia's sanity with this Effie Ambrose at fullback. I mean, and then when you look at that denier, to me, I know Big Virgil got man of the match. I've heard that the way out, but to me, the best players in the park were Denier and Chris Commons. Chris Commons was brilliant. How the hell he picked that Ambrose in front of Denier in that Champions League game, I'll never know. And he keeps playing him at fullback. You're better playing with 10 men. The guy is an absolute disaster. He's no bad in his wee parades going forward, wee 1-2s and that, bring a bit of. But see, defending, he's a total nightmare. That one he done the pass back, you know, you're just waiting on him. He's out of position constantly. Nearly everything Aberdeen done was going down their left-hand side. he's a disaster. He's a decent.
Do you think he just switches off? Does he lose concentration?
Possibly, Chris, but I think he's a decent enough centre back when he's got a decent partner next to him. But see, he's a full back. No, he's not got it. And he can't.
He always seems to be on his heels or something, doesn't he?
Aye, he's reading the game shocking at times. You know, but that's my big worry with Daly at the minute.
But Jason, do you not think he was forced to play him on Saturday because Lustig and Matthews weren't available?
I don't know. You could argue about moving as a Geary or whatever, or playing Charlie Mulgrew. I don't know what Charlie Mulgrew was. He injured?
No, he was doing commentary. Oh, not commentary. Doing punditry. Like.
But I don't. Maybe it was. So benefited out of Harper. But if he keeps persisting with this, that's going to end in disaster. Especially at midweek, you're playing that Red Bull Salzburg or a decent side. You know, if him at fullback, they'll rip him to shreds.
I mean, I think Lustig's definitely going to be the first choice fullback if he's fit, and Matthews probably second choice. Like, no, I wouldn't be overly worried. I know he's played a few games there at the start of the season, but I can't see it continuing. Like, you're right, like what you're saying.
So the game, I think the energy levels of the game, Celtic the first half, are brilliant. In the start of the second half, Scott Brown was dead in his feet, you know. And I think, to be fair, when we let the equaliser in, we were unlucky in a sense that he was going to take Brown off anyway, and his substitutions were excellent. Because when he brought Beaton and Kyle, and it gave us a bit of shape again, you know, for the 2-1 down, and we could have went on. The amount of chances we missed, but here was my sort of gripes at the game. Lee McGregor, I'd never slag him, but I was getting hacked off him because his decision making was terrible, and I think Commons at times as well. Because my feeling is we've got a big forward there, Skepovic, but he's not going to score any goals if he doesn't get any service. And he got one through ball to him that was he was offside. He put it away well. But see, apart from that, he was looking at feeding in scraps. Young McGregor and Commons, all they do is get the ball, cut inside and have a shot. You know, there isn't any looking up to see if the big man's making a run, or, you know, it just seems to me that they get the ball, run forward and then have a shot. Young McGregor, he's young and his work rate is phenomenal. But his decision making and his calmness in front of goal was all over the place at the weekend. But I don't want to get on his back. You know, I think he's a great wee talent and more power to him. He's obviously just getting a bit of confidence now, and he feels that he can do all this, and he's not feeling overawed. So good luck to him, and hopefully that'll come. But I just thought we squandered so many good chances and good positions we were in. It was quite criminal, to be fair, because when they get the goal, there was bits that were hanging on, you know, at the end, and that's no good enough. I think Big Guidetti, when he came on in the second half, he looked a wee bit out of shape, but good movement, and he looked the part. But I don't know. I think a shape going forward. We're all right, sort of at the back when it's nothing to do with Ambrose. We're all right in the midfield at times. Although Johansson kind of goes missing at times as well in the middle of that part. But I think it's a work in progress. Hopefully it'll get there. But we need better decision making when they're in the final third. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple of moments that kind of got to just before the 18-yard line, and you could see there was thoughts of passing going on, but everything just sort of broke down a bit. But can you put that down to Skepovic sort of being new and only being there about a week or so, and you know, kind of rusty, sort of you know, ring rust?
And see, to be fair, Tony, I thought he was okay. You know, he's busy enough. He's no frightened to take a man on. He was all right when they say set the hair on fire, but he looks a step up for the Dutchman, which it's not really saying too much. But
my question about Tonev is as well, though. I mean, like, I don't think he played that badly, but it was a couple of times it's like, come on, he was a bit ineffective. But see, with someone like Izagiri there, who's so good at getting down to the byline and crossing the ball in and beating players and getting into the box. I mean, Tonev, his position was kind of nullified at that point because Izagiri's bombing him down, doing his job for him.
They were kind of falling over each other. It's the same getting an understanding. I think obviously that comes with playing more.
I think one of the things about Tonev was, for the first time in a long time, you've seen a player coming into the team who looked fitter than the rest of the team.
Aye.
You know, I just thought he was full of beans, and you know, sometimes we're saying players now and sort of shrug their shoulders and say, yeah, okay, I'm in your first team, so what? But I thought he looked keen as mustard. So did Gadadi when he come on. You don't think we lads that wanted to play for Celtic?
I think that's,
I thought it was very, very refreshing.
That's just Gadadi's personality. I mean, you see him coming on straight away, and he was in Chris Commons' ear, and then when his free kick was taken, he was also over standing with the ball, talking to Chris Commons. Like, I mean, he's not backwards and coming forwards with Gadadi. You can see that about him, and hopefully all that energy pays off. You know what I mean? That real sort of, and he looks quite strong as well. You know, and people just, I mean, it's one of these guys I want to see do really, really well. Because after I watched that documentary about him, if anybody's seen that, it's called The Golden Year. It's about his great period at Feyenoord before he got hit by a virus, and hopefully that pays off for him at Celtic, because I mean he's the kind of guy who could be a hero. I mean, with his personality, and if he scores goals, I mean anybody scores great, like a bag full of goals is going to be a hero at Celtic, but he just seems like a real bright spark. You know what I mean? I really like the look of him, the sound of him, you know, and I was really glad to see him come on. You know,
yeah. Where does that leave Stokes, do you think? Because Stokes was on the bench, and obviously when Skabovic came off and Gadadi came on, you would have thought maybe Stokes might have been expecting a nod there, no?
Yeah, well, maybe he's trying to please the fans as well. Maybe he just wants to get these guys bedded in too. I mean, like when you're kind of winning the game, and whatever way he's seen it, like, I mean, he obviously thought the team could absorb whatever pressure Aberdeen were going to put on them, and they kind of did towards the end, I suppose, in the second half. But I don't know.
I never seen the game, right? Fucking aircon exchange went down, so I lost my internet, blah blah blah. But I mean, looking at the lineup, just what you're saying there, Chris, I think Spreaker coming in was the kind of player that I thought that would probably work well for Stokes, the kind of guy that he can play off. But with so many forward-thinking players coming in, and the stories that you heard like at the start of the season that the manager might not fancy Stokes and Griffiths, I think Stokes and Griffiths could find themselves in the periphery of this team if the guys coming in do well. Because he's signing these guys as his own players. Do you know what I mean?
It was the first time I thought that you actually thought that this was Ronnie's team, so it's stuck in this pig shit a wee bit.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. It looks like he's moulding into whatever he wants it to be. You know what I mean? And I suppose like we're just going to have to kind of wait and see. I mean, I didn't think the performance was overall brilliant. First half I thought was great, but I think a lot of that was down to Scott Brown and maybe the anticipation of the fans as well in that respect, and that brings a lot of energy too. But I think Scott Brown made a massive impact in the first half. But then again, you said, Jason, I mean, he looked drained.
Well, it's dead in his feet, but that's only to be expected. I thought he did fantastic the first half. I
mean, he was tackling everybody. He was going in for crunchers. There was no fear. It didn't look like a guy coming back from injury, you know. But I don't know. Like we said a few weeks ago, I mean, the next 4 to 5 weeks, we're gonna probably get the clearest view so far of what this is. We're gonna be looking at for the rest of the year, you know.
So Aberdeen came into the game in the second half, right after they scored their goal, after about an hour. You know, that's when Brown went off. And whenever Aberdeen started to put on a wee bit of pressure, I was saying to myself, God, I wish Brown had stayed on the pitch. But it was obvious he was blowing hard, like. But I thought that was the difference. They lost the midfield a wee bit when Brown went off.
Yeah.
I kind of agree, but I don't know. See Johansson for me at times. I don't know. He kind of meanders a bit in the middle of the park. He's not anchored there, and he's not controlling the game.
I know what you mean. He kind of pops up, and you go, "Oh fuck, there he is! I haven't seen him in a while."
Aye.
And you're like, "Oh, he's here." You know what I mean? And you kind of forget he's there, and you do have belief in him as a player, but then you don't see enough of him doing stuff, and you go, "Ah." But sure, again, he had another one of those great runs.
Aye, and he fell out of the ball at the end. But he couldn't get a penalty. I don't know.
The thing about Johansson is he's very much going to be Ronnie Dyler's player because they had him at
Stokes Godsett, yeah.
As well, and you're mentioning Anthony Stokes. I think Kyle could be another player who probably finds himself a bit unlucky to drop out of the team because he had a pretty decent start to the season. I suppose, like, if you've got Scott Brown coming in there, you need one guy in the middle who's going to have the sort of creative presence, which Kyle probably doesn't really have. And Johansson has to pick up the pass, but I've been a wee bit disappointed this season. Johansson, he's busy in games and he works himself hard, I think. And he runs and runs and runs. Often, like the games you see in Europe, he's the guy going and chasing down the goalkeeper and stuff like that. But I just don't think I don't know if it's a confidence thing yet.
but he looks like he's got the ability, but he's just not doing it enough. Definitely not doing it enough for me.
Remember when he first came on the radar, and I was like, everybody was looking at the YouTube videos. His game seemed to be, obviously he'd score the odd goal, but his game seemed to be his passing and dropping the ball into players in certain areas, and he hasn't done that. You know, which is what I wanted to see. I mean, but that just doesn't seem to be happening. But maybe it's the way he's playing. I don't really know.
Can I just say on the highlights that I've seen, I watched the highlights on the SPFL channel on YouTube, and I have to just talk about the goals, like the goal Aberdeen scored. I mean, fucking Ambrose at the back post. I mean, I could have jumped higher than that.
Yeah.
It was far too easy. I mean, I can't remember who it was that won the header that put it back across for Goodbye, but I mean, it was far too easy a goal to give away like that. But I did think Celtic's second goal was excellent. I think it was Ambrose that played the ball in for McGregor, a great run, and then cut back to Commons, obviously. But no, it does come back
took
to
a big
Ambrose.
deflection. Took a big
deflection. Did take a big deflection.
It was a good move.
But I think definitely that Ambrose, I mean, you're saying watching the game, I've never seen it, and everything Aberdeen came down the left. And I mean, any manager worth his salt would have been saying he's the weak link in the team. That's where you've got to attack that right back position the entire game. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's definitely something. I mean, I don't think it's coming back to what Jason's talking about at the start. I can't see Ambrose continuing there once we got other guys back fit. I really can't.
I tell you what, after Considine scored for Aberdeen, they had two good chances after that. The big Gordon kept us in the match. Kept the lead front. He won from again, and then from we flood. Before we had any reply, and Aberdeen were looking good that time, you know. But it was brilliant for Gordon. He's been a scoop so far for me, to be honest with you.
I would agree. I've got no concerns about him whatsoever. You know, well, obviously with injury concerns, but as a player, if he's fit and he's on that park, I've got no concerns about him whatsoever. I'm actually, funnily, I'm maybe more confident in him than I was with Fraser Foster because he like cross goals and stuff like that.
Did you see Fraser Foster play for Southampton the weekend when he flat?
I seen him flat across goal. I know, I seen it, but. So I would agree with you, Chris. For getting 10 million in for Foster and then getting him for hee-haw. Yep. Not that the 10 million means anything to us.
No.
So what about midweek? What do you think?
Salzburg, haven't they lost 3 on the run now?
Have they?
They've won 5 of their last 6 league games, so they're sitting second. They actually only went second out of the weekend when they lost to Wolfsburg.
But Wolfsburg's German, but it was a team that sounds like Wolfsburg.
Something like that.
Aye, you're right, because I was looking at that. I knew they were winning, I didn't know the final score.
Obviously, my stats are from
Wolfsburger is what they call them.
Wolfsburger?
That's right. Aye, it was that. But Celtic are a good price, by the way. They're 49 to beat us. I think you can get 72. I think some bookmakers were giving 61 Celtic earlier on the week.
Wow. To
win this game. You never know.
What do you think lineup wise for next week? Obviously, we know nothing about fucking Red Bull Salzburg, really, obviously. But I mean, European games. What do you think he's going to go for? Do you think he's just going to try and keep molding this team, or is he going to play safe? Is he going to throw in he can't throw in Gudetti, but he could throw in Mubarak. You know what I mean?
Well, put it this way, you're playing at Aberdeen at home and he plays one up front. He's hardly going to go with 2 up front away from home in Europe. I think his game is 1 up front, which I'm not really too keen on, but there you go. It's his team. Especially when you're Celtic and you're playing the SPL. Playing with 1 up front, regardless of who you're playing these days. I think he's playing with 3 up front.
In our minds, like we should be beating this crowd, like, you know what I mean? But we're all still kind of in a limbo, going like, don't really know what to expect here. You know what I mean?
Aye, I would agree. Well, for
I think it's going to be a tough enough match because that game that they lost the weekend was the first time they failed to score in 5 matches. So they're a high scoring team, and even I know Malmo aren't great shakes either, but they beat Malmo 2-1 home. It's not going to be easy,
And seemingly they were absolutely devastated not getting into the Champions League. They thought they were an absolute set for it. So, and obviously with Red Bull sponsoring, they've had a fair bit of investment in them as well, I would think.
Yeah, Jesus, we're talking ourselves into a grave here.
Aye. But I just think with Celtic, it's early days and we don't really know what to expect. Anything can kind of happen. You know,
I think it's brilliant that they're from Austria and their manager's called Adolf Hitler. You know how that all started, like.
Here, does he paint? Oh man! I was going to say something now. It's gone out of my head.
well, it's the Celtic pricing structure for the Europa League games. I think it's good. £60 for season ticket holders, £20 a game. You know, I'm more than happy with that.
That's for 3 games, Jason?
Aye, 3 games, £60.
That's not bad.
Do you think there'd be a big take up?
Well, there's rumours that they're only opening the bottom tier, not the top tier. I've not went and got mine yet, so I'm in the top tier. I'll tell you next week.
I think that's all you can expect, a sort of 30,000 out of it, isn't it?
Probably. I mean, and Saturday, as I say, games live in the telly, it's a 1:45 kick-off, over 40,000 there. I was delighted with that. You know, this Armageddon stuff, and they're talking about 25. I mean, it's the Armageddon's happening again now. They're down crying everything, but fair play to the crowd that turned up, you know. And I thought the crowd got behind the team, you know, pretty positive. Wasn't any massive amount of singing apart from the Aberdeen supporters. They were giving his usual anti-Glaswegian bio, but that's all good. I like a bit of banter at the football. And they were giving us a large, but
am I wrong in thinking that was it not said at the start of the season that we had 40,000 season ticket holders?
I think that number was banded a bit hard, but I don't know if it's been confirmed or that.
So, I mean, if that's right, you would expect. I mean, how would you be a season ticket holder and nobody getting a ticket for the fucking Europa League games? Like,
a lot of them will not go and buy them. A lot of folk just buy their season ticket. I know folk that buy their season ticket and don't go to any other games that they need to buy tickets for.
That's like,
maybe they can't afford it, you know.
No, I don't know. It just seems weird to me. Like, no, I think there's always way in a reason.
See midweek games. A lot of folk are sort of institutionalised nowadays when it's European football. Midweek games, carry out games live in the telly, sit in the house and watch it. You know, in for work, can't be bothered going away into Glasgow. Because you've got to remember the days of meeting all your pals in the pub, going on a supporters bus, getting a few drinks, going to the gate, that's all done now. You know, a lot of people.
But if it was the Champions League, Jason, it would go full.
But you get a lot of tourist supporters want to go as well. You're probably just into your half core that's going to go to this. You know, same with your League Cup games and stuff like that, your early rounds. It's just left to your kind of half core, I would reckon.
I just have a feeling about this group that this is probably our level. I think the games could be quite exciting. You know, I'm really thinking this is going to be quite entertaining for Celtic fans, and rather than going to games with trepidation with this team in the Champions League, how we've been thinking the main thing here is not to get leathered and embarrassed, whereas we could be going out to these games and fucking enjoying it. Like, do you know what I mean?
I'm fully expecting us to qualify out the group. I'll be gutted if we won't.
That's what I mean. So I'd be disappointed if it is only a crowd of like 30,000. I find that a wee bit sad, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, but you can look at it this way. I mean, it's going to be a challenge for these players, but that'll build them. That'll build their team spirit, I suppose. And if they're out there, you know, competing with teams of a similar level, as opposed to being pushed in front of some of the world's greatest and being fucking humiliated. Like, I mean, this, like we've said before, I mean, the whole Sion thing. I mean, not that season. The season of what am I talking about?
What are you talking? The season we got knocked out against Sion and we got to the final of the UEFA Cup.
Aye.
It wasn't Sion, it was we get beaten. Basel, aye.
See, that's why we need Paul Argan on the show, because shit like that doesn't happen either.
The one big Sutton had the header right by the post in the last minute. We beat them 3-1 at Celtic Park and they get beat 2-0 over there.
But challenges like that in the Europa League and UEFA Cup, it could be the making of this team, you know? Hopefully.
Aye.
You know, obviously that was a point I completely fucked up.
But it was the making of Neil Lennon's team.
Aye.
That was the last European game I was at. I was across the Rennes game and Stoke scored that night.
That's what I fucking meant. That's what I meant to talk about. That's the season I meant.
Well, why didn't you say so?
Because I couldn't remember which team I was talking about. That's why we need Paul desperately on the show.
I mean, that was quite a tough group. It was at Rennes, Atletico Madrid, and I can't remember who else, but that was the making of that team. Like,
yeah, well, absolutely, yeah. And I'm hanging on to. I really hope this is a make of this team, you know, and it gives them a. You're not playing for major amounts of money. There's no the same, you know, because every week that you play, it's the Champions League week, so they got all the coverage. It's only like in Scotland we've got a wee bit of coverage, but nobody in the European terms is really talking about us. And but when it is the Champions League games, you've got like a Barcelona, you've got like a Juventus or whatever coming to Celtic Park, and it's obviously that big build up, and it's like it's on the UEFA site, and it's like a big deal, you know. But the Europa League's kind of just sort of in the back door kind of thing. It's like an afterthought. So the pressure's kind of off. So hopefully Dyla can use it to sort of mould his team, and we can take off from there. Don't agree with you, Harper.
Because this team wasn't ready for the Champions League. It's too early for them.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, even to bring in so many new players, whether 5, 6, maybe 7 new players to try and bear in, doing that in the Champions League isn't the place to do it, like.
No. And see from a selfish point of view, I work in Glasgow as well, so the games our 3 home games are at 8:05 at night, so it's great, finish work, meet with the boys, get a good few pints, head up to the game, and it's a Thursday, so you can have a few extra pints, you've only got a Friday to go to work, and then you're off.
You have to drink to enjoy yourself.
No, definitely no, mate. Definitely no. Just to be sociable, you know. It helps the conversation flow.
You're one of the most sociable guys I know. For that,
that's it, mate. and then all the guys gone on the European trips away, so you can take 2 days off your work. You know, you can fly out that morning, that's excellent. You know. So I've looked into the Romania one the day. A few of my mates have booked up, but they're going planes, trains, and automobiles. I'm past that carry on. So I think I was talking to the lass at the Celtic travel thing. I know a lot of folk don't like going the official way and that, but it does for me. But there'll be a flight sort of getting announced in a couple of weeks. The Zagreb one's up. That's £304, I think, for the day trip to Zagreb.
You've got a trip. You know what I'm talking about?
Nah, well, at least. Hey, enough of that, carry on.
Okay. I don't think we have to say answers on a postcard to see who you've got to see, you know.
I'll tell the listeners, right? I'll get down to this for it. I probably don't want to bring it up in this show, but I've booked to actually go and see Everton again in Europe. I've never seen them in Europe, always on to dates. I see them a date this year, so I'm missing the Salzburg game at Celtic Park. I'll be able to see the telly after the Everton game. There's a few. Should be a good trip. And I've told all the boys from New York that are planning a trip over. Don't come out at the Salzburg home game. Tell them they'll be there.
Because they're coming to see you, like.
Well, I would help chaperone them about, you know. As I do. Yeah. So, that's it. So, cheers for that.
Chris, what about you? I mean, I know you're talking about you're busy with your work and moving house and all that kind of stuff, but I mean, are you going to get up to many of these games this season, or you any plans, or what's the crack there? Like, because you had just the first year you come back, you had the season ticket, and you and the boy were heading up the car, and I don't know what's happening.
There, after Thursday, he's going to need a fucking visa to get up and see a game.
Chris, you said that without moving your lips, eh?
That was great, wasn't it? Did you hear my really bad West Belfast accent there, Hannah? No, I'm going to get up next month, however. That's the problem. I'll be scooting up my own because the boys no interest. Like, he's away off chasing the girls and playing Destiny and all this here kind of stuff. So I'll scoot up my own.
Our bus is running. We're coming over on for the Inverness game on the 1st of November.
Well, I'll come up and meet you at that.
There's 16 of us coming over for that, so that should be a bit of a laugh. Like, we're flying over, like, so we'll have a full day on the Bevy, like, so.
Oh, you can straight back after the game, or you staying over?
No. Yeah, last flight, so.
All right, flying over, okay. Okay, 1st of November?
Right.
All right, spot on. Sure, I'll come up and see you then.
I think it's the only Saturday 3 o'clock kick-off this year.
I don't know. Don't worry, Chris, I'll stay out of you.
I know you will, just always rely on you.
So was it?
Absolutely, I'll do that. I'm just looking at an excuse to go, really, like, but I was, to drive up your own drive back 660 odd mile, like, is a lot of WRs doing that, like, but he's an overall certainly cool.
Aye, definitely. So are you still in Cheltenham, Chris?
I am for now, Jason, yeah.
Aye, good stuff.
So, is that all the football talk done then?
Is it?
What about Tony and the racist accusations, bloody old crap?
I was going to bring that up. Reading between the lines, I think it was, mate, you know. We were kind of talking about it beforehand, and I know this word isn't very welcome, so shut your ears if you get any kids watching, but seemingly he said, the Aberdeen player said he called him a black cunt. So that's what he said. So at the end of the day, is how, I don't know, the guy's Hungarian, and is he getting into sort of Glasgow banter and now calling people cunts and stuff like that? You know, I don't know. It seems a bit, I don't know. And he's vehemently denied it. So unless there's a third party that's witnessed it, I don't know how you can kind of prove that. And I don't know. I don't know any Hungarian. So maybe he said so. And people normally swear in a foreign tongue.
I don't know, unless he's just looking to learn the local lingo and someone said just black cunt. All you gotta say is black cunt. All right. I mean, that's just all he says to anybody.
It's just that looking very good, you know, these newspapers and all jumping all over these incidents for headlines. You know, the Lee Griffiths thing, and now you've got Tony Ev, you know, just starting, you know, his career and throwing that out there. You just think, somebody's out here.
Oh, just the papers, just the media. I mean, it's just like you're never going to read, you know, Tonev smiles at young child. You know what I mean? You're going to hear fucking, you know, oh, he's a racist. Ooh, you know what I mean? It's just bullshit. I mean, I hope it's bullshit anyway. I mean, it turns out he's a complete racist. Then we're all a lot like fucking fools. But
Tony visited the local hospital. You know what I mean? That's not going to happen.
You're never going to see that. No. That'll be a wee small. That'll be the Celtic View probably. Won't actually be in any newspaper. That's just the papers for you. You know what I mean? Speaking of media and speaking of scaremongering, what was you the raffle now, or are we going to talk about the Yes campaign, which we obviously going to talk about?
See, just before we go on Nitro, I just wanted to say about last week's podcast. Just wanted to say thanks to everybody who the amount of messages we got privately, the emails, some of us individually, some of us to the group, the tweets that we had. Just people really, a lot of people took something to the show, and I think we kind of got the reaction. Maybe reaction is not the right word, but I think it worked out how we wanted it to work out. So I just want to say thanks to everybody who contacted us. We replied to everybody. We dealt with we spoke to some people who were in the same boat as us. So it's obviously everything's confidential, but just it was nice for some people to have us to reach out to and vice versa. So I think it was a great success for what it was. I just want to say thanks to anybody who's listening.
Yes, I totally reiterate that. And as I say, some of the feedback we got from people, it was sad, but it was also gave you a good feeling because you kind of done a wee bit to try and help. And it's just, you know, a lot of people are really struggling out there, and I just think us sharing our wee story, you know, just hopefully let people know that they weren't alone. And it obviously did, because the amount of feedback we've had to people, it's been nothing short of phenomenal, you know. And I just thanks to everybody for listening and taking it the way it was meant, and we just hope some positivity can come out of it. And as you said, Harper, it helped you guys as well, you know.
Yeah.
I have to say, I think I listened back at my work yesterday. I was in for a bit of overtime, and I have to admit, I found it pretty hard going at times. Listen back. I'm not afraid to say that I've wee tear in my eye on a few occasions, so it's a good job there was only about 3 years in the factory at the time, like, no. I waited till a secluded time to listen to it. Like.
I listened to it when I was. I don't ever listen back to this show at all. But I stuck that one, and I was kind of. We were talking about it in our thread, and Joe said he listened back and it was good and whatever. And I was like, right, I need to do this. So I stuck it on my earphones, going to work, and in the train. I was walking into the office, just in the back. I was talking, and kind of I was like taking my earphones off and cut the phone. I'm all in there, cheery or that. I'm like, aye. I go like that, you know, and it's like, aye, it's a distant memory for me now, you know. It's like, thank God. But it was, Aye, it was good to do, and I wasn't for joining it beforehand. I was a wee bit worried, but I think it done what we set out to do, and I just hope everybody gets a wee bit of benefit. And as you say, if we could help one person, it was worth it. And I think we've helped more than one. So, job done.
Brilliant. I mean, yeah, so you've said it all. I mean, it was great to do, and the response has been amazing. And just having people talk to you, you know what I mean, and being able to talk back to them, be it through email or whatever, you know what I mean, even on Twitter, is great. Because people who we would even know through the show, I suppose, have approached us as well. So, I mean, it's great because, like the point of the show was, just there's no stigma around these things. You know what I mean? It's just there shouldn't be. It's just difficult times and problems are problems, and you can get through them, you can get over them. It's not easy, but people can help. So here we go. Let's talk about. We'll do the raffle now.
You want to do the raffle?
I'll do the raffle now.
Right, okay. So I've got things wrote down here, so I kind of a wee bit organised, but I'll read it out to you guys and correct me if I'm wrong or whatever. So this is the point where we done the raffle, and it was £10 a shot, and all money collected in was getting donated to Medical Aid for Palestine, MAP. So we were due to get a guy from MAP, James from MAP, to come on the show tonight, but he couldn't make it, and he could only make 10 minutes at the start of the show, and we're always 10 minutes late, so I said to him, just forget it now. So he's going to come on maybe next week, hopefully, and just give us a wee brief overview of the charity and stuff like that. But I've got all the money in, as I say, the raffles. I've sent emails out to everybody that donated with a raffle ticket number. I sent out, there's been 2 additions since I closed it. So, as I say, there's an extra 2 numbers. So I've got all the numbers there. I've got all the names next to them. And it's going to be up to the podfather to choose 7 numbers. So before we give them the range of numbers to choose from, the prizes are in this order. So the first number gets drawn out, gets the amazing Celtic canvas art. Second number drawn out gets the signed and framed Anthony Stokes boot, which I've got in my cupboard just now, and it's a quality prize. That was donated with the Kano Foundation. Third prize gets a signed John Higgins cue. Fourth prize gets one of the Australian Celtic tops signed by a few legends. And fifth prize gets the second Australian Celtic top. We're going to give the 2 of them as one, but Harper showed his common sense again. It says split the prizes up. And then sixth, you're going to win 3 tickets to the extra Asterix, Paul Larkin show, the Asterix years. And seventh prize is going to win 2 tickets to the same Asterix years show.
It's the Premier.
Have I missed anything out?
It's the Premier of the
Is it the Premier? Is it not? It's the one after it, I'm sure.
The charity one?
Was it?
It's the charity one, I'm sure.
That's right. Sorry,
It's not the Premier.
mistake. Charity one.
Aye. Paul's just texted me and says Harper's an arse. No. So it's 3 tickets to the extra showing and then 2 tickets. So that's 7 prizes. Have I missed anything out? Have we got any prizes stuck under cupboards or something like that?
No, just that also everybody, at some point in the next week, I'll get the email with the books.
Yeah.
Everybody will get that.
Yeah, so let me just say as well, this has been my first time really involved in sort of raising money for charity through this show and through the Celtic support. For me, kind of been one of the driving forces behind it. It's always been Harper and Co, Paul or whatever, that's been behind this. So it was down to me to do it, and I'll tell you, there's a hell of a lot of work goes into this kind of stuff. So hats off to Harper, Chris, Joe in the past. When you have done initiatives like this, bloody hell, she's sending all the emails out.
Jason, Chris still hasn't sent out some of the prizes for the competitions that you're on.
But I'm telling you, it's tough stuff, So hats off to all you guys, and I think I've earned my corn. So the Medical Aid for Palestine, it's a totally worthy cause, And I says it's a non-political organisation, non-religious. It's not affiliated to any group. All it does is get medical aid into the Gaza Strip. Once the blockade's lifted, it gets the medical aid and stockpiles it because they know the next attack's in the post. So all it is helping the innocents. So as I say, it's an amazing cause. And if anybody wants to go into the Hail Media site, I'm going to MAP's site itself. We're going to get the guy on maybe next week to talk a bit more about it. So the grand total we've raised, and I need to thank everybody for the bottom of my heart, is £1,280. So the lot of that will be flying. They've sent me the email today, with the bank account details, so I'll transfer it to my PayPal, to the PayPal we set up, into my bank account, and then I'll do a direct transfer over to their bank account down in London. And as I say, fantastic. I want to do a special thanks to all the listeners of this show, and for the posters, Celtic Minded, who, when I put a thread up there, they guys never ever let you down. You know, there was a few for the huddle board as well put in, but Celtic Minded, I've got to take my hat off to the guys that posted that board, because time and time again they produce the goods. And they've certainly produced the goods for this. So, as I say, thanks to the government and everybody on Twitter and things like that as well. Some people from our work, some guys for Harper's Celtic Supporters Club, the St Lawrence Club, a lot of the guys chipped in as well. So, just really thanks to everybody that donated. And as I say, your £1,280 is going to a very, very worthy cause.
Fantastic.
So,
Good stuff.
time to draw.
Yes, here we go. We're going to spin the wriggly wheel, right?
Right, so Chris, it's numbers between 1 and 128 after. You can spin the wheel and give us the first number.
So you want to give your first number now?
No, spin the wheel for fuck's sake, no.
All right.
It's all a bit complicated.
Right, here we go. Right. Wait for the wheel, right? It's very long. This wheel is very long. We can't do this every time, can we?
That's it. give us the first number for the first prize, Chris.
My age, 27.
27. Okay. Right. Stuff that wheel. Give us a second number.
What's who won it then?
Well, do you want, I'm going to read it out of the end.
No, I did one. I'm tweeting them on one.
Do it one by one. Right. Give me a second there just to get the email up. Okay. Number 27. The winner is Gerard Minogue.
Doing the locomotion right now, Badgie.
Gerard Minogue. Minogue.
Right, Gerard Minogue. What's he got, the salty canvas art?
He's got the Celtic canvas up, yep.
Right, here we go. Right, enough of that. Right, go, Chris.
Jones waist size 52.
52. 52 is Andy Smith.
Andy Smith.
Andy Smith.
Andy Smith.
Anthony Stokes' boot.
Anthony Stokes' boot. Here we go. Chris?
The number of hers in Jason's head, 3.
You're very kind. Liam Cairns gets the signed John Higgins cue.
Sweet, next one. What? What's wrong?
Wait a minute. I'm trying to tweet them.
Tweet them.
Alright, sorry.
Liam Cairns, Cairns. Liam Cairns.
Ian Cairns, snooker cue.
John, can I just have a point in spinning the big rickety wheel? Is there any reason for doing that? Or is it just for atmosphere?
It is. It's production value, Chris.
Hey, John Higgins must be making a fortune off all these cues that we've given him.
Tell you what, we could build a log cabin with the amount of fucking cues. Here we go. There we go.
Number 100.
Number 100. Martin McGinty. Martin wins the first Australian Celtic top, signed by a few famous dudes.
There we go.
112.
112. Richard Heaney.
Richard Heaney.
Richard Heaney wins the second Australian Celtic top.
There we go.
And let's go 120.
128. So that's. Wait, what did I text you? After, what did I text you? Did I say, right, give me a second to read the text?
The tickets, no?
Right, hang on a second. So it's Mick. Lee. Right, okay. So Mick, my mate Mick, that sent us the tenner the other day, he gets the 3 tickets for the Asterix Shears.
Right, sweet. Next one.
That'll get you a second there in a minute.
Put that them all.
One more.
One more. Number 2.
Number 2. You're no go.
What?
I'm going to guess. Linda Higgins.
No. 2 tickets to the Asterix Wheels is won by Paul Lapp. Oh my God, that's brilliant.
Should we spin it again?
Well, that's fair enough. He can give them to somebody if he wants.
I'm sure he. Michael Curry it is. It's Mick Curry.
Just tweeted Mick.
Okay.
I thought he was your mate. You had to look up his surname.
Oh no, didn't he? Give me peace. Right, so draw Paul's again. Come on.
I think so. Here we go.
You want another one there, don't you?
Yep.
15.
15.
Mm-hmm.
A sec. Check this. 15. Where is it? Sarah Davenport.
Sarah Davenport.
Yep. So that's 2 tickets.
That's the last one, yeah.
Years. Yeah. That was brilliant, that. Superb. Oh, man. Superb.
Right, so the Rabble's done. That's an amazing amount of money now to send down to Madcliffe Palace. I mean, I imagine that, how that money must go quite far. I mean, it's obviously basic medicine they're bringing in.
Yeah, well, obviously the guy James here, he'll go into more detail next week. But yep, it's just basic medicine that they need. And there's if you go to their site to tell you, but they look to try and get doctors placed over there because there is medical professions want to volunteer their services and go and work there. So they try and help with things like that as well. So first of all, I tried to. It was Marty Flynn in Belfast. He put me in contact, and so he. I asked him about which Palestinian site, and it was the Scottish Solidarity for Palestinians. I contacted them, but see the woman she didn't get her email. There was a problem with her emails, so I was looking to do it when we come on the show. So then Marty suggested Matt, so I phoned them up, and they were over the moon. You know, they couldn't be happier. So then it was a week later, the girl for the Scottish Palestinian Solidarity Society contacted me. And I says, look, you've missed the boat, kind of thing, but we've already, and she's like, look, they're an amazing charity. She says, look, they're fantastic. We've done a lot of work with them in the past. She says, it couldn't be going to a better place. She says, we're all in the same boat here. We're all trying to get the same solution. So, she was more than happy. So, it's a very, very worthwhile charity, you know. And the stuff they sent us up T-shirts, posters, all that kind of stuff, you know. And, I'm just delighted we can help them, you know. And one of my mates in Liverpool, big Everton supporter, Peter Blenhurst. Peter, he's doing a couple of marathons and stuff like that for them as well. He's seen one of the things that I posted as well, and he kind of took it, and he's doing his work for it as well. So, so if anybody can spread the word, I mean, this is a charity that needs our money constantly, you know, because of the horrible situation they're in. But it's good to make a wee bit of a difference.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Speaking of making a difference, Thursday, let's get on to this now, because I know you want to talk about it, Jason, anyway. And obviously
he's the only one who gets the vote.
So there's no proxy vote, no?
No, it's only for people who live and work in the country, but to be honest, I think it's fair enough.
It's It's not living and working, it's just living.
Oh, well, that's what I meant. I mean, would I love to have a vote? I obviously would have been voting yes, but I think it's fair enough that the way they're doing it, to be quite honest.
Yeah, so I mean, like, it's going to be a huge moment in history, I think, if it all goes according to plan on Thursday. I mean, how long does it take to count the votes? Usually overnight, yeah?
They're coming in it's sort of staggered, the way the results are going to come in. I think some of the results start coming at 2 a.m, some come in at 3 a.m, 4 a.m and 5 a.m, I think. It's a start, but I think by 5 a.m, the results will be in. I think Glasgow's maybe 5 a.m.
So basically, when I get out of my bed on Friday morning, I'll know the result?
You'll know, yep.
Jeez, that's going to be a sleepless night.
I know. I tell you, I don't know what... Obviously, Chris, you can... First of all, Chris, tell us, what's it like in Middle England? What's on the news? What are they speaking about?
It's very much wall to wall for no. See all this, you read some of the comments of some of the yes campaigners and stuff, about there's a vote for the working class and all this here kind of stuff. I'm not seeing that down here. First of all, the ball didn't even start rolling until the last couple of weeks. You wouldn't even know there was a referendum coming up. People just didn't have any interest in it. And now it's just like, well, it's the UK and maybe they're going through the stiff upper lip stuff now, but there wasn't very much interest until recently, but it's definitely not being played on a working class card or anything like that. It's, we are the UK, we are Great Britain and all this here kind of stuff, I don't think anybody down here expects a yes vote at all to come through.
Wow.
So Harper, Joe, what's happening over in Ireland? What's in the news over there? Anything at all?
I just pay attention to what I see online, to be honest with you. I just sort of seek out a lot of the these sort of media debunkings, you know what I mean? Like the likes of what did you call that? Dobie Cow, the Better Together campaign. Ruth Davidson.
Sheeman.
There's a general fear here that because of the talk, if it's a yes, Scotland loan the corporation tax to the same as Ireland, and there's a general fear here amongst people that jobs are starting going to leave Ireland and go to Scotland. Honestly, that's what I've heard from a lot of people.
I would go to fucking Scotland tomorrow. I tell you, just get
I'm just saying that is a lot of talk here, like no. But I mean, I think when I'm talking to them about the bias of the BBC and the way it gets portrayed and all that, I mean, I think they just think it's no surprise to them, put it this way, because I mean, obviously there's no love of the Brits where I am, like no, and talking to people, I'd say people are very much hoping that we get it at the same time. Yeah, because I think a lot of people just see it as a blow basically a blow to the Brits. The Scotland get a yes vote, like no. And obviously, it's going to have a knock-on effect up the north, like no. There's no doubt about that.
But that's the thing. Is there's a certain amount of West Brit type media down here that's kind of slightly been edging in with that. Well, this could lead to instability in the north. You know what I mean? And then I guess it's another scare tactic.
There was a good one last week, and which I shared it on Facebook and a few other people's. There was an RTE very, very open, and the guy, a top economist here, who basically said, well, why would Scotland not be able to go it alone? They would have a bigger economy than Ireland. They have quite a young population. So they've got the natural resources that Ireland doesn't have. So he certainly seen it as a country that would certainly be more wealthy than Ireland. And an interesting thing they spoke about was the currency thing. And he was saying, like, the Bank of England don't have any choice. They can't stop Scotland from having the pound. And he gave an example, I think it was Bulgaria, where they actually pin their currency to the US dollar. And you can basically pin your currency to anything you want, and nobody can do anything about it. Do you know what I mean?
Aye, because say like you go to Jamaica, and Jamaica has the Jamaican dollar, but you can spend US dollars. They don't ask the American government for permission to use US dollars. They just use it.
Aye, so this fear about currency and that, it's just, and actually I shared a video today that the chairman of the Canadian fellas, the chairman of the Bank of England,
seen that, huh?
who says that Scotland will be keeping the pound regardless, like, no? So.
The whole pound debate, though, I think is irrelevant, because, Joe, I don't know if you remember this or not, but you used to be able to spend Irish pounds, punts, in the north when the currency rate was like 1 for 1, or else when the rare occasion where the punt was stronger, they would have taken punts off you and gave you 1 for 1. But when it dropped, when the currency rate dropped, that's when they stopped to do it. That's when they stopped doing it.
But see now, Chris, you can go to Newry, like, and you can use euros everywhere you go.
Belfast the same too, Joe.
I mean, exactly in Belfast. I'm going to Asda and Belfast and paying euros.
The thing was, when you went over the border into the Free State and you went to the north, they would take sterling off you when they were
no doubt about that.
Aye, because it was worth better than them. They're like, geez it.
But Chris, it's all right saying it's irrelevant, but it's very much something that the No campaign are trying to tell people that you're maybe not going to get to keep them, just telling them lies about the currency. So it's very much been a big topic for people.
Yeah, what I mean by that, Harper, is I think it's a bit of a red herring.
Oh, of course it is.
Everything is.
That's the point. Like, I mean, that's why it's irrelevant. It'll be a red herring.
Everything they say seems to be a red herring. That's what I'm loving about all this sort of public smackdown of everything they say. You know what I mean?
The biggest challenge there is to the referendum and people voting for yes is when you get we people in the voting booth and it's time to put the X in the box and nobody's watching them.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people at the minute are full of bravado and stuff, you know, going, oh yeah, I'm going to vote for independent Scotland. But it's when they get in the box themselves and it's just them on their own. What way do they do it? Do they still have the nods to do it?
Aye. I think you've definitely got a fair point. There'll be a few bedwetters and a few of my mates who are all for independence. You see them starting to creak a wee bit now, but you just need, I don't know, you need to stay strong with your convictions, and I think it's a moral vote for me as much as it is an economic vote. You know, in fact it's more of a moral vote for me. You know, and it's something I never ever thought, and it's something I didn't really give much consideration to.
But it's unlikely that you're going to get 51% voting for their morals.
Aye, absolutely.
Yeah, but there's also a fear of change as well. I mean, people can be afraid of change, but I think what the Yes campaign has done really well is basically divided and said, yes, change is frightening, and like the future can't be uncertain if we do vote this way, and there will be a certain period of transition. But the other option is fucking David Cameron, Ed Miliband, Nick Clegg, and Nigel fucking Farage, and you're going like, I think that's all you need to know. You know what I mean? I think if that's made it clear to people that if you don't take action to change things, everything's going to stay exactly the same and probably even get worse.
See, living in Scotland and working in Glasgow and whatever, it's just awash with yes. See all my friends and nearly all my family, all my direct family, they're all voting yes. And some in-laws and stuff like that, a couple of them maybe knows, but for all my group of friends, I'd say 90% are voting yes. That's including English people who live in Scotland are voting yes. And it just seems there's an absolute crescendo out there that's voting yes. When you live up here, see when you watch the debates that are on constantly, see Alex Salmond and Nicola Sturgeon, I take my hat off to the two of them, because see the face of a corrupt media, in the face of every English politician taking to do with it, then some prominent businessmen coming out with absolute claptrap that they're up and leaving. And in the face of everything, they've stood up to everything that's been bad and just batted it away. And I think they've been absolutely phenomenal. You know, see if I was the two of them, I'm no lover of the SNP, I'm no nationalistic or anything like that, but they've been phenomenal. You know, I take my hats off to them, and it's just, you know, you can see the Westminster government is absolutely bricking it now, because they've basically treated us like a shower of clowns, like these idiots will never vote for it. And to a certain extent, I think some of them are maybe still thinking, but I think deep down they know they're going to lose. Yeah. And here's the thing.
Do you think if the vote goes for yes, Cameron will step away? Will he step down?
Well, they said in the news tonight he won't have any choice. You know, can you imagine being the Prime Minister when the breakup of the United Kingdom? Yes. See another thing. They keep going on about this. It's very close. That it's too close to call. I don't think it is. I think it's going to be a landslide for yes.
Yeah.
Honestly, Chris, I really feel that. Because see in this country, see when you're talking to, see everybody you're speaking to, I'm getting in debates with people on Facebook and stuff like that, and it's maybe it's just the company I keep. That could very well be it, but it just seems to be there's an absolute wave of optimism sweeping the country, and I think see with the young people voting as well, most of them will be voting yes.
But again, that Jason, like we also live in a bit of a bubble too. When you look at who you follow on Facebook and who you follow on Twitter and all the rest of it. I mean, my Twitter feed, I don't think I know anybody that's voting no. Or voting yes, I just don't know.
See the thing about it is, though, it's a total rejection of the Tories. Do you know what I mean? I'm so glad this is happening while the Tories are in government. Because, I mean, that is a political party that will never, ever have any mandate in Scotland. And we are just getting left with them all the time. And to be honest, I mean, as a voter, Joe, you just mentioned the names. Who in a general election would you want to vote out of those four clowns?
Nobody.
I mean, I never voted SNP. I voted Labour all my life up until it all went wrong under Tony Blair and I switched to Scottish Socialist. I never voted SNP. I don't think I ever would vote SNP. I agree with Jason about how Alex Salmond's handled himself absolutely brilliantly. Showed the BBC up for what they are. I think Tommy Sheridan, if this goes to a yes, Tommy Sheridan should be one of the first knights of Scotland for some of the stuff he's done.
Did you hear him being interviewed today on Radio 5? And that guy does drive time, but just ridiculing him, patronising him. And that's very much the attitude down here.
But see that thing, Chris, that goes in our favour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See when these guys, these supposedly impartial interviewees, are ridiculing the Scottish people for saying we could stand up on our own 2 feet, it works in the reverse. Because what they're trying to achieve, they're not achieving it. It's going. And see the thing is, right. See everybody saying, because I'll be brutally honest with you. I've got a good life. I've got a good life. So if I was thinking this in a total selfish context, I probably should vote no. Things in my life are going pretty well. I live in a decent house. My family's doing okay. But I can see things. Like being a kid, getting brought up in this country. I work in offices. I work next to graduates with honours degrees, and they're doing temp positions because they can't get a role. And it makes me sad. And it makes me sad that there's some great people out there that just can't find a job, or can't find a job that befits their qualifications. And then when you look back, people say, but I've lived through when the Ravenscraig shut down. Look what happened there. Well, it was a Westminster government to shut all the Scottish industry down. A Scottish government's no shutting Scottish industry down. And when you look at the natural resources this country has, you say to yourself, we could make a go of this. And then you look at the oil and gas that's off the west coast of Scotland. The whatever report it was called, Tommy Sheridan was on about it. I've actually read it. But the British government sunk the report, and they said because we had Trident, we couldn't. You can't drill out there because Trident uses those waters. So from a moral point of view, I want rid of Trident, and I want rid of my country being involved in all these illegal wars. When you look at what's happening in Syria at the minute, Syria and Iraq, 99.9% of the worldwide population would probably put Saddam back in power if they could. You look at the hundreds of thousands of people and the total breakdown of law, and you're getting guys beheaded left, right and centre by absolute maniacs. And the UK is thinking about opening up an embassy with Iran again, just because Iran hates ISIS. You say to yourself, no, this has got to stop. See this warmongering and this jumping from side to side and arming these rebels against Assad, and then these rebels turn into the Islamic State.
But it sounds ridiculous. It's not people of your generation and younger that you need to worry about. That isn't what is going to swing the vote. It's the older generation that listen to Radio 5 and listen to BBC Scotland and still read the Daily Record and things like that. It's exactly the same as what we always had at Celtic, how fan culture changed, but still there was always that large percentage of people that would have followed the old board.
But see the thing is, Chris,
people believe what they read in the paper still to this day, and they believe if it says it in Radio 5 on the BBC, it's got to be true. The supermarkets are going to raise their prices and the banks are going to close and all things like that. And that's just not true.
Yep. I totally get it. And the older age group will definitely vote. A lot of them will vote no. I get that. But they don't make up the majority of the population. You've got to look back. See, you look back at 1979 when Scotland had this chance previously. There was 3 million whatever of it, and 2,400,000 turned up to vote. 1,300,000 voted yes, and 1,100,000 voted no. But the way they divvied it up was if you didn't vote, your vote automatically went to the no camp. So back in 1979, the yes won the vote. So at the end of the day, and that wasn't an excellent campaign because a lot of Scottish Catholics years ago would have looked back and said the SNP were tapping Tories. Your Orange Lodge, they obviously wouldn't vote SNP because it's against the union. So the SNP guys maybe, see nowadays, I was at Mass on Sunday and the priest kind of made an impassioned plea for people to vote yes. You know, he says, I just want you to vote, I don't care who you vote. And then they were on a rant about we can stand on our own 2 feet and stuff. I felt like standing up and giving him a standing ovation. That was absolutely delightful. And
did you get the old ourselves alone speech, did it?
But you know, it's like people are really surprising me, you know, and everybody's taking interest, and the kids are taking interest, and my kids are asking me questions constantly. I'm taking the positives with it, you know, and it's as a gamble, voting yes.
You know what I've got to laugh at? When they keep going on about the oil, right? And they're totally trying to underplay the oil, right? Saying it's only going to last another 25 years, right? But even if it did, do you think for the next 25 years everybody's just going to be cutting about like JR, smoking cigars? So what going building up an economy? You know what I mean? Look, everybody's just going to live the highlight for 25 years and go, oh, shit, no what?
I've seen a good one. Somebody says, the realisation is kicking in. For Scotland, might only have 40 years of North Sea oil, but Westminster might only have 72 hours left.
You know I work in the oil industry, so see all that scaremongering about the oil run out as well? Absolute nonsense.
Right. Are you
that one to the bank? That's absolute nonsense.
I know, and see the thing is, there a guy on the chat room says they didn't have social media in 1979, that's the difference. Well, no, in 1979, yes won the vote. I think yes will win the vote again. I think you need social media because of the media onslaught that's totally negative to the yes campaign. It's social media that's kind of fighting back, and people are chatting amongst themselves, and that sort of...
I think
that does raise it for other people who don't maybe use social media, because like that rally outside the BBC offices yesterday, that all started on Facebook and Twitter, and it's the social media kind of people that are fighting back and spreading that word, and then it's actually then it is actually reaching some of the mainstream media, and so like RTV, which is a worldwide news channel, actually went against the BBC, showing how your man Nick Robinson had lied about Alex Sand and everything. So it starts on social media, and then it does expand to certain media outlets that can't ignore it.
These are all the variables, though, that the No campaign hasn't considered. I mean, because these are elitist people who are, they accept winning all the time. You know what I mean? And they've obviously the Labour Party and Conservatives have more or less just absorbed each other in the more or less one massive shit pile of politicians. You know what I mean? But all these variables. I was talking to an English guy recently, a friend of my wife's, and he's one of these outspoken landing guys, and he was sort of saying to me, like, what's the point in Scotland breaking away? I said, well, you got to think about it. I said, a lot of the people who are voting are like your age, Jason, maybe younger. I said, like, a lot of their parents, their childhoods would have been destroyed by the Tories. You know what I mean? Westminster and the government would have destroyed, the poverty was a direct correlation to like what happened politically to Scotland. So these people are grown up now and they have a chance and they have a ballot and a vote. So you got to think about that as well. And he goes, I never really thought about that. I said, exactly. These people aren't thinking about these things.
There's 45 food banks in the Glasgow area.
Did you see the video of the Maryhill food bank?
Yes,
on Facebook.
A good friend, James, was on it.
Is that James?
James is in the video. James is one of the volunteers.
I have no idea what it looks like.
James was there. I'll tell you another thing. See, you make a great point, Joe, and you're talking about, see, the housing schemes of Scotland, and not just in Glasgow, but the housing schemes throughout Scotland. See, a lot of these people, they've got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
You know, it's making up, that's a lot of the Scottish population. You've got a thing called the Glasgow effect.
That's an official term now, because Glasgow is the sickest city in the UK. It's got the least life expectancy in the UK. So why should we be voting yeah? Why should we be voting no, sorry? Why should we be saying we're better together? Well, we obviously aren't better together.
Yeah.
So
I'm just sad that Mr. Paisley isn't going to be around to see it.
see another thing, see in Facebook, somebody sent me a link, right? It's got a saltire and a St Andrews flag half in the middle, right? And it's called endpropaganda.wordpress.com. And endpropaganda is one word, .wordpress.com. So it says everybody can join in this, and it gives you a Scottish referendum poll for everyone. And it's got 4 options. It says, I live in Scotland and will be voting yes. I live in Scotland and will be voting no. If I could vote, I'd vote yes. If I could vote, I'd vote no. So see when you put your vote in, I've already voted, right? But
What is it again? What is it again? Just
when I put the vote in, it says, thank you, we've already counted your vote. To date, there's been 28,863 voters have voted I live in Scotland by voting yes. There's been 5,556 voters I live in Scotland now by voting no. So yes has got 75.46% and no has got 14.53%. I mean, at the end of the day, we're only talking about circa 35,000 here that's been canvassed. But at the end of the day, where are these polls? How are these polls getting made up that they're actually showing us that it's neck and neck? Nobody's asked me anything.
Yeah.
You know, I've got my doubts that it's so close.
I think. Do you see Tommy Sheridan's face when he did a thing on Sunday on the BBC? He looks like he looks like he knows. He looks like he just knows. Just has that look on his face. Now,
a great line for him, Joe, was this isn't about millionaires. This is about the millions.
I thought it's a great one now. Right. Whoever writes his stuff is brilliant. But whatever you think of Tommy Sheridan, obviously he has big people who hate him and probably spurned lovers who want to kill him. But
what about our friend Mr. Galloway?
That is disappointing.
See, this is the thing I want to make a point as well. Look, the Labour Party in Scotland is finished. See if its current form is done. You know, see if there is a no vote. You watch SNP. SNP will walk the next election in Scotland.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No question. The Labour Party in Scotland in its current state is absolutely done. When George Galloway took that stage, he started going on about the Second World War. See when folks start that. See when you're a progressive country, why are you going on about a conflict 70 years ago? Which, okay, was happened, and there was people in the UK fought for freedom. But what relevance does that have to kids of today? You know, what relevance has that got to kids of today? When you look down in England, the rise of the far right, well, Chris will know better than us, but that UKIP and stuff like that. Scotland rejects right-wing politics, and we always have. So see, at the minute, the SNP, I'm not a great SNP lover at all, but effectively that is the only mainstream party that's centre-left that we've got for us. I don't agree with a lot of their policies. I'm not an SNP man at all. I've voted for them, but it's more a protest against Labour. But, you know, it's probably the only party, the mainstream party that can represent the working class. You know, and the thing is, you've got Labour politicians standing up on stages arguing for conservative fiscal policies.
Yeah.
You know, that can't be easy. But they seem to be doing it all right. You know, the words seem to be rolling off their tongue. Galloway's, he's sitting in the same side of the stage as a Tory. And he's telling us that we're selling folk down the river.
This is the man who calls himself an Irish Republican.
Aye. He's an Irish Republican, but not a Scottish Republican. You know, and he's Scottish. You want that?
He also said that Neil Lennon's Celtic team is the worst Celtic team he ever seen. So let's not take anything George Galloway says as gospel.
Aye, but it's you know, I'm taking the positives. My wife she's doing her thing. She's losing the plot with me. You know, it's a total obsession now. But what I would say, at the end of the day, I hold no sway with anybody in Scotland, obviously, just making on this show and talking utter shite. But what I would say to everybody is, whatever the result, see Friday, try and go on with everybody. Do you know what I mean? See all this divisions, and I don't think there is this great division that people are saying. You know, people have been passionate about what they're going to vote for, and rightly so. It's probably the biggest week of their life. You know, so being passionate about it and
I don't see people going about hating other people because they're voting a different vote to you. I get slightly annoyed, but at the end of the day, I've got to respect everybody's decision. And if it is a no vote, then you just need to dust yourself down and go on with it.
But how honest, Jason? I think if it's a yes vote, I have visions of you with your top off in the front garden going, fuck it! Fucking screaming at your neighbours.
I don't know what I would do, you know, but you need to be respectful. You need to be respectful for everybody, because a lot of people that's voting no, they're putting some valid points to me, you know, and they get their own reasons. A lot of people want Trident, they think Trident protects us. I think it's utter bullshit, but that's their views.
The problem with it is, though, Jason, with the polls running so closely, according to the polls, you're going to have a very, very sizable population in Scotland very unhappy on the day after the vote.
And that's the dangerous thing, you know.
Mm-hmm. This is really the Berlin Wall moment for Scottish nationalists, like.
Aye, definitely. See, the thing is as well, but the Scottish nationalist side, or the so-called side that I'm on, I'm not a Scottish nationalist. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean.
I think it's a valid point, Chris, because I'm voting in the Scottish nationalist side, but I'm not a Scottish nationalist, if you know what I mean. I've got more in common with my pals in Liverpool than I have with somebody from Dumfries or somebody from Perth. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I feel, you know, but it's from a moral standpoint, and when I've got young kids, I want to bring my kids up in a free Scotland, absolutely.
But the thing is, it'll be nice though, like, if it is a yes vote, which I think it will be, and I really, really fucking hope it is. Like, imagine waking up on the Friday morning knowing that what the tabloids say and all that shit doesn't really matter anymore. You know what I mean?
I think a yes vote will be absolutely incredible for the people of Scotland.
Out in the streets, out in the fucking streets.
But the people of Scotland that's actually rose above this media corruption, you know, this corruption for a state that holds all the aces and it's telling us everything, we're all going to go to hell and there's no way back and stuff like that. I think in the last 100 years, there's been like 150 countries that have got freedom and not one of them's went back.
It'll be funny though. It'll be funny.
See, to Chris's point about like the poll saying it runs too close, right? Now, it's said that most of these polling companies, they only really poll 1,000 people. I kind of side with Jason here. I think last week I actually thought, me and Jason both were speaking with this, we both thought it was probably going to be a no, but things have changed, and the fear campaign for the no vote has swung it to yes, I think. The media tactics, the dirty tricks has swung it to yes. And I honestly believe it's going to be high 60s to 70% yes. The people who go and vote. Now, there's maybe going to be 1 million people in the country don't go and vote. Well, they've nothing to be unhappy about, no matter how it goes, because they've not had to say. I actually think that the no vote could actually be quite a small minority.
Aye.
See in 5 years' time, nobody will admit to voting no.
That'd be class. It'd be brilliant though if Salmon came out the next day and it was the yes vote and just said, right, 5-year party, let's go. Everybody's off work. Fucking oil money's already coming in. Let's start spending.
See the folk, if they do vote, right, see if it's a resounding success in 5 years' time, the country's riding the crest of a wave, there's a feel-good factor, the government seemingly performing. You know, they'll all be, an Independence Day, they'll all be celebrating the same as the rest of us, because I think most of them are actually, they're voting no for their reasons, that they feel that they're going to be better economically with voting no. But if the yes could prove to a lot of them that it would be better, which obviously you can't do until you get in there, you get in power and you do it. But if the yes could kind of some way find a way of proving to them they'd be better off economically, a lot of them would vote yes. You know, they're not doing it because they love the Queen and they love the Union Jack and stuff like that. They're quite happy with how their life's going at the minute, and I think that's the majority anyway.
I just said with the party is just enticing as well. I mean, if it goes to yes, you know what I'd do? I'd cover Hadrian's Wall and just people would bend it over with their bare arses pointing towards England, and just get a big photograph of it.
See as well. See with the bookmakers, been looking into this, and obviously you're still getting 3-1, 72 and stuff like that on a yes vote, but that's solely based on exposure, the bookies' exposure, because seemingly they've landed a right few bets down south. Like £1 million and stuff like that at like 1 to 6, 1 to 7 on a no vote. So effectively, people with a few quid are just trying to buy money because they've
discounted us as idiots that we've not got the gumption to vote yes, which might be true. You know, they maybe win with a landslide. So these people have actually put... So effectively, they're trying to entice people in to vote yes to try and balance their books. Because it's the exposure.
Conspiracy.
Jesus Christ. It is,
It's
but
just the exposure that the bookies... They're going to look... If it's a yes vote, the bookies will win a fortune.
You know one thing I haven't heard that I really want to hear is that you've heard all this. If they vote yes, this will happen, that'll happen, and the future's going to be bleak, and then fucking shit's going to rain from the sky, right? What we haven't heard is like anybody talk about a period of transition in the event of a yes vote.
Oh, there's 4 years. I've heard them saying that it'll take about 4 years to negotiate and divvy up whatever. We need to divvy up the debt. We need to divvy up the assets. So it'll take 4 years.
So you can't just walk away from that debt, no? You can't walk away from the national debt, no?
Aye. Yeah, well, if they didn't give us the pound, you kind of could. But
My passport's up in November. So what am I applying for a Scottish passport?
You're going to get stuck in the airport like Tom Hanks. That'll happen to you.
No, if you don't live in the country, you need to stay British for the rest of your life. You need to be...
I'll just get an Irish passport.
Yeah, that's it. But what they're saying is if you live in Scotland, you're allowed to keep your British passport or you can get a Scottish one. If you're born in Scotland after partition, you can then you do a Scottish passport, you're not due a British one. But those that live in the time of freedom, they can take their pick.
This was all forecast and lost. Remember your man Desmond? He was singing the Celtic song and had a Scottish passport. I don't know if you've watched Lost.
I watched Lost. I'll never get those fucking 6 years of my life back.
And the Scottish passport. There you go.
That's right. So is that? I forgot about that.
Desmond, that was his name.
Desmond,
Desmond,
That's the man.
That's it, man. So, it's exciting times. It's really exciting. You know,
I enjoyed. Did you watch
something I never ever thought I'd see?
Did you watch the BBC sort of comedy take on it? Did you watch the Frankie Boyle and Kevin Bridges?
I
seen Kevin Bridges. I thought it was very good.
Fuck,
I thought it was brilliant. I thought the English lassie was great as well. That was on after.
I didn't see her. I didn't see her.
The wee English guy as well. The wee English guy, he spoke very effeminate. Did you see him?
No, I didn't see him. I only seen Kevin Bridges and Frankie Boyle. But Kevin Bridges won about the changing the currency to smackaroonies.
There has to be a guy walking about Glasgow now called Eddie McCabe, pronouncing himself as King of Scotland. You know what I mean? There has to be an Eddie McCabe somewhere.
Imagine you knew Eddie McCabe. You're like, fuck, I know him.
We're all hanging about the post. They say, big man, can you get home for us? You've been voting.
Did you see it, Chris? Chris, did you see it?
No, I have it recorded, so it's not a...
It's very funny, man.
By the way,
that's recorded.
He's back on the night, 10, touring about Scotland, speaking to people about the referendum.
The Kevin Bridges?
Aye, so that's a must watch. Yeah, I watched tonight.
10, these people have been in their bed. Who's going to be talking to that time?
10:40 maybe. Right. But it's definitely exciting times, man. Exciting times. See, another thing. See, when you're looking at Alex Salmon and Nicola Sturgeon walking about among the people, then you're seeing that cretin, John Reid. You know, he was on our board, and you're just looking. You're like, it annoys me.
Here, listen,
I shall never get into the English Premiership now, sure.
This is, by the way, sorry, but this is going to be a long show. Vicky's just delivered me another 2 gin and tonics.
Happy days. Here, no one. I love
watching. Got to sing the last half hour.
Did you see the guy that followed the? I don't know if it was followed Milliband or in a fucking rickshaw playing the Star Wars fucking Imperial March.
Imperial Masters. Welcome.
And he just kept following him. It was fucking hilarious.
You just knew Miliband's fucking horn shows fella saying, "Look, pal, fuck off."
It was hilarious.
But it's just, I think it's generated a country, you know, and as Salmon did say, when has this ever happened in Western Europe before?
Yeah.
You know, it's I think it's just phenomenal.
I loved him. I love watching him because, I mean, I don't really know much about the SNP. I don't know their policies, so I'm just kind of watching as an outsider. But for a guy under this amount of pressure in such a massive moment in history, he's been cool as ice, and he tore your man Nick Robinson a brand new arsehole on
He's been incredible
at the press conference when he just more or less, your man mentioned something about the Treasury, and he just fucking basically talked it into an investigation. I mean, it was fucking fantastic.
Basically, answers and says, "Oh, and by the way, you're in deep shit."
It was phenomenal.
And obviously, the BBC will assist in any internal investigation, which will be taking place.
I had to tweet your man Nick Robinson straight away. I was like, "Oh, mate, you got owned in front of fucking everybody, mate." You know what I mean?
Best it is, that was in front of world press.
Phenomenal.
Do you know what? Another thing I spoke about on Facebook today. What is this thing with the Orange Order getting held up as some sort of like these good guys that are coming to fight the cause for Britain?
Did you watch the BBC coverage of that? And the first fucking idiot they interviewed was that fella, the Asian guy that's part of the EDL, the one that was on fucking Danny Dyer's biggest dickheads. I mean, what the fuck he was on.
And then they interviewed a wee Scouser. It's all religion to fight together. What?
There was the one the BBC didn't want you to see. There's something Facebook.
I see that one.
Apprentice boys that he's saying, look, I just want Scotland to remain part of Northern Ireland.
The best one was, I seen the one the other week, and it was hilarious. Somebody was filming the TV, and this lad, he goes, I want it to be new, but I think it's going to be yes. He goes, why do you want it to be new? And he goes, no, I want to still see Match of the Day on a Saturday night.
Right. And the irony, the Orangemen walking about with placards saying no to separatism.
And no popery and all. Oh, fuck it.
No to separatism.
The bastion of inclusiveness there, it's see another thing, but see like the sort of trenches being drawn, like if you're a Celtic fan you vote yes, if you're a Rangers fan you vote no. Utter horse shit. Do you know what I mean? I know plenty of Celtic fans that are voting no, and I know plenty of Rangers, but I don't know. I know a load of Rangers fans that are voting yes. See the thing is, see if you're basing probably the most important thing you will ever vote on in your life on the football team that you support,
you
deserve pity.
But I tell you what, all Alex Salmon has to do is come out and say, right, listen, if you vote yes, tomorrow I'll buy 2,000 shares. And they'll just shit themselves.
But it's incredible, how the insular nature in Scotland, how it always comes into the lowest common denominator. People are using like sort of religious to vote yes or no, and it's just like, no, this is a moral and economic matter for Scottish people.
But Jason, there will be people. There will be other people like that.
Aye,
but I think they're a tiny minority.
But that's the thing. I mean, there's people out there that say, who are Rangers supporters that are probably not living the greatest life, probably living in council accommodation that is fucking dire, surviving on benefits. I mean, having a tough time of it, but are mad Rangers fans and are real loyal to the Queen, and they're probably voting no out of that alone. You know what I mean? Despite how they're living. You know what I mean? That's one of those things.
I hear to put some reality into the whole situation, but there's as much chance of the yes vote going through as there is of Amido Balde scoring a volley from 40 yards.
Funny you mention that now, Chris.
I know.
Sorry to bring football into the debate.
I know, sorry. But you're right, Joe. There's certain folk that obviously involved in Orange Order and stuff like that, and that's their own prerogative. And some of them have the absolute arse hanging out their trousers. Nothing much gone in their life, but voting no because of a flag.
What I've always said about that, though, right, about the Rangers support, which is a massive support in Scotland, right? Well, if they were that against, how are SNP in government?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've always said this. All these guys, there's a good massive.
It's a minority.
Right.
Absolutely. And you'll get. I don't know if you'll get as many Rangers fans who vote yes as Celtic fans. I don't know. You might get more. There might be more Rangers fans are voting yes and Celtic supporters. I don't know how it works. And I don't care. It's just this is people of Scotland getting a chance, and not just no people that are just born here. Everybody living in Scotland. So here's the thing as well. See, like the Asian vote. and things like that. And obviously, in England, with the rise of the kind of far right, would the Asian vote, do you think they'd all be for the yes?
Well, do you know what will not be going well for the Better Together? David Cameron keeps talking about
Foreigners.
how if there's a yes vote, you're actually turning your friends and family into foreigners.
Aye.
And you're like, wait a minute, because that's the word he keeps using. Why keep using the word foreigners?
What's wrong with
Is that
foreigners?
a bad word?
I know.
Is that a bad word?
You ever been on
That's
holiday,
a
you
foreigner.
can't?
And the thing is, I get into Liverpool to see my mates and go and watch Everton. I'm not allowed to go and do that. I have to vote.
Oh, Ed Miliband says there'll be guards. There'll be guards. Fucking. It'll be like the border. It'll be like the border of Mexico. You have to take your wife and kids over.
Listen, there's more chance of me becoming fucking Prime Minister than Ed Miliband, so I wouldn't worry about anything he says.
Tell me this right now. And I hope this doesn't come across as racist. Is Ed Miliband Asian?
I don't know.
Because
I don't think so.
he's quite dark skinned. Like I just always wondered that. Like
Is he not Jewish?
What's Jewish?
Oh, for God's sake.
let's dig deeper down this racist hole.
No, there's no something to do with his some member of his family suffered in the Holocaust.
I have no idea.
No, I think I read that somewhere.
He's kind of like he looks darker than the kind of Jewish eggshell tan. You know what I mean?
He just looks and sounds like an absolute fucking tube.
Well, the best thing was he came up. He's walking up Buchanan Street, right? And some woman stopped him with a baby and a child, and obviously she was, what you would call lower class if you're one of those dicks. And she asked him a few questions, and this other bitch, this raggedy old bitch, was answered the questions for him, and he just stood there and didn't say a single word. And she was.
Is that the one that she caught him on Trident and stuff like that?
Yes, that was the one. Yeah,
she was brilliant. She was brilliant. She nailed it.
Yeah, and he didn't say a single word.
The boy was good last week on Sky News. That he was English, the English fellow.
Oh, it's the guy on the street corner.
And he's saying, and you're English, but you're a Scottish nationalist. He says, no, I'm not Scottish nationalist or anything. He says, I'm a socialist. He says, I'll still be English, but I'm a socialist, and I want Scotland to, this is where I live, and I want Scotland to be a better country. And he heard your man left, right, centre, like, huh?
Yeah. I mean, but your man's fallback as he handed back to the studio was, well, you got to remember that's just the opinions of two people in the street, and you're going like, well, you're two fucking wrong people, dickhead.
See if you could see the UK government, if they could turn the clock back a year, well, they would bite your hand off for it.
They would have ramped this campaign to the fucking balls. I tell you.
Right.
But the thing is, they obviously they slept on this one, and that'll be the thing that has Cameron ousted. The fact that he slept on this. You know what I mean? But then again, they're all down there, and they're all down there living in their ivory tower, and Scotland doesn't really matter. It's that elitist attitude. It's like this will be okay, and that'll stay the same. And I'm fucking delighted that this opportunity is here, just to see them get poked in the eye and go, you know what? Fuck you.
See, I said last week that, I was a big Labour supporter when Tony Blair got in. I was a massive Labour supporter at that time.
Oh, so was that.
And probably, if there had been a referendum then, I don't know if I would have voted yes, because I've never been a nationalist or nationalistic. I just thought it was best for the country and for the people in the country. And I think probably I would have been wavering at that time. Do you know what I mean? But as Jason says, there is no option for Labour in Scotland anymore.
No.
I mean, they just do not represent the socialist Scotland.
I say there's definitely an era as well in Scotland. I'd say, obviously, only from what I'm watching is some of the reports I've seen have harped back to back in the 70s. You mentioned, Jason, and the feeling you get is like, well, fuck, fool me once. You know what I mean? But fool me twice, not a chance. You know what I mean? So that's what makes me think this is going to be a big day for Scotland.
And listen, a Labour Party will form. There will be a Scottish Labour Party.
Yeah. Why? Because if Scotland gets independence, the SNP will need to change. Because what do you need a nationalist party for when you live in a nation? Is it for some sort of Adolf Hitler convention? Do you know what I mean? You don't need a nationalist party when you're a nation. A nationalist party is fighting for a nation. So once you become that nation, then you kind of morph into left wing, right wing. There is no place for some nationalist party. You've achieved your goal. The SNP it's achieved its goal. What it was set out to do was create a Scottish nation.
But I mean, as well. But Jason, is there not the option as well to sort of attempt new political structures as well?
Well, there's at the end of the day, if the old if the old guard, the British New Labour, think they're just going to defect to Scottish Labour and form this new party and change their political ideals, I think they're going to get rid of Wakening.
Yeah, no, but what I mean is, is this not like an opportunity of independence to try and like, have your own like political structure as opposed to having the regular, Labour Conservative or national scene? I mean, is it a massive opportunity to kind of let go? Okay, let's do politics a bit differently. You know what I mean?
I think we should adopt the Chinese model. Just get the Communist Party in there.
Chairman Higgins.
Change it from within. No, to be honest with you, I was in China and you watch the news and obviously listening to the subtitles and stuff, and they're on about their social policy, and they realise they're in a bit of the dark ages with their social justice, and they need to reform it. But they talk about the political landscape, and they say the West has got to learn from them. Because although they've got the Communist Party that says you can change the policies of China, but you need to change it from within the one party. So effectively they've got the same kind of thing as us, but it's all held within the one party. So if you want to change the constitution of the country, you still need to be a member of the Communist Party, but you can put your mark on it to change the inner workings of the party. So people are getting voted for who they are rather than who their political party is.
Yeah, but you're also dealing with a different culture as well, there. I mean, in respect to
exactly. And there that's where the bother is in the Middle East and stuff like that. We try to impose Western democracy on countries that are not interested in Western style democracy.
But that structure will work for China. But I mean, when the Scottish round eye tries it, there's going to be some sort of corruption and deceitfulness that's going to creep in there. You know what I mean? But
you're right. They introduce proportional representation or whatever, I don't know, do it in boroughs anymore, I don't know. But you're right, we can create our own mandate.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, rather than adopt like the age-old British sort of, model of like, let's have a Labour and a Conservative and this person and that person. We're like, oh no, let's look at it differently. You know what I mean? I think it's a great chance. Now, whether that'll happen, I doubt it's going to happen because I imagine every dick and his dog who's a vulture politician is going to be sucking on Scotland if they do go independent. You know what I mean? Looking for a place.
Here's the thing I want to put it to you as well, right? See all the scaremongering about companies up and leaving, right? So you've got multinationals that are saying, or they're not saying, but the media's portraying them to say that they're going to up sticks and leave Scotland, right? Is this a bit simplistic? Or see, multinationals, do they only exist, or any basically company, do they only exist to make money? Right?
Exactly.
So they've got shareholders and then they report profits to their shareholders, or the CEO that's in bother, he's going to get sacked and they'll need to restructure the company or they'll need to fold the company if they're not posting profits, right? So a company exists in Scotland to make money. They're not in Scotland to do us a wee favour just because they like the British Prime Minister and they're up there doing us a wee favour up here, running at a bit of a loss, but we're nice hunters. Right? So my simplistic terms is companies that are in Scotland at the minute making money. Right, so when we go independent, they will still be in Scotland making money. So are we just going to say, fuck yous, you voted against my Alden and Westminster, we're not interested in that money you're giving us, we're off, we're going to shaft yous.
Somebody has to blow a whistle, everybody stops working and walks off.
And the funny thing is, and I'm saying to you, people in Ireland are thinking they're worried that companies are going to head to Scotland.
I'll tell you what, fucking, if you're listening to this show and it's Independence on Friday and you got a job going on Saturday, I will take my family.
I'll rent you.
See the thing as well, right? I've worked for multinational companies. So see when they decide to restructure the business, see whether it's under a Scottish flag, a British flag, work for anything. You're out of job if they want to shut your plant down. I worked for an American company, I worked for Motorola, and there was 4,000 folk worked in the plant that I worked in. They just decided one day, they came out and says we were the most profitable site, everyone was going great. 2 months later, they're back, shut the place within 6 months. Totally shut the place, 4,000 people out of work. So they make executive decisions at a boardroom level.
Yeah.
See all this people worrying about going independent, no independent. The Ravens take all our industries shut down under a Westminster government.
But surely what will happen is like what happened in the Republic of Ireland, where they'll attract businesses to the country by giving them tax breaks.
Yeah,
absolutely, and you're in control of it as well, Chris. See, another thing, they interviewed the guy for BA. I think the guy's Irish, the head of British Airways. They interviewed the guy last week, and you could tell the interviewee boy, he was flummoxed. He says, so what's the impact for you if Scotland goes independent? He says, it'll be a very positive one for our company because we believe they'll abolish passenger duty. So it'll be very profitable for the airlines in Scotland if Scotland does go independent. Oh, hey, right, we'll move on.
Hey, Phil, here, did you see the one? They got the guy on from the head of Witherspoons. And they got him on. He was like, no, it'll be great. That'll be fine. No difference to me.
That'll be great. And you just, see, the thing is, when you look, Scotland's got 60% of the oil in Europe. It's got, I don't know, 40% of renewable energy, that wind stuff. It's got the whiskey, it's got the seafood business. It's got tourism. It's got, I don't know. It's got that big oil field in the west coast of Scotland that nobody's even looked into yet.
Also, Scotland has the biggest arts festival in the world every year.
It's got tons of stuff.
The Edinburgh Festival. Like, I've been there twice.
It's got folk like me with good power.
Listen, fucking every rose has its thorns. Yes, you know what I mean?
I know, but it's like at the end of the day, just get it done, boys.
Tell me this: how does the polling work over there? I mean, is it they take over the schools for the day, or the kids get a day off school on Thursday, or what?
All the kids are off. It's an in-service day, but even the schools that aren't affected, they've all got a day off. But it's just a wee local community centre for me. So
I bet you all the kids are going like, "Fuck! If this happens, this day next year will be a bank holiday." I mean, this date every year, 18th of September, will be a national holiday at some point. I mean, I know. So, but it's exciting times. So it really is. And see if it is a no vote, you just need to dust yourself down. And I think to be honest with you, people are saying like we will get shafted if it's a no vote. I don't agree with that at all. I think see if it's a no vote, they will breathe the biggest collective sigh of relief ever, and they will make sure we don't want to go to the elections again. Another thing is, I actually haven't followed it that long. I'm following for the past year, just kind of in the background. How did they actually agree to come to this?
I think it was because the SNP got the overall majority. They could force the mandate through.
Oh, that's how it works, all right.
Yeah.
But see what you're saying there, Jason. I mean, I read a thing just yesterday with Tory MPs in England saying they'll veto. Because people see this thing about we'll give Scotland more powers. That is not government policy. That's what they're saying. And then that's just a promise that's like any other politician saying to promise.
Yeah,
and there's Tories already saying we will. There's Tories already saying we will veto Scotland getting any more powers.
Aye, and the thing is as well. See, they wanted.
But all they're promising is an investigation into it, and what's the term we use? A white letter or a white sheet or something, white paper.
Right.
They're not promising that's guaranteed. All they're saying is that they'll draw it up and vote on it.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
They see if they could change the voting paper just now and put Devo Max as an option. They'd do it in a minute.
On a heartbeat.
Aye, absolutely. They're gutted that they haven't put that in there. And then see if they had put that in there, I reckon there'd be less chance of yes winning.
I think there'd be more chance of yes winning.
A lot of people are backed into a corner now and they're just saying, fuck you. Yeah. So, there you go. So, exciting times. Never ever thought I'd live through anything like this, to be fair. So I'm just going to embrace the full event. And
see, the thing is that, Jason, I'm so excited about it, right? I'm getting so nervous thinking about it, right? And it doesn't even really affect me. Do you know what I mean?
But here,
I don't think I'll ever, I honestly don't believe I'll ever live in Scotland again, But it affects my family, it affects my daughter and stuff like that. But I mean, it's a big part of it for me is a wee bit getting it stuck to the Tories. So I mean, that's a good big part of it.
Isn't? What hasn't been made very apparent is if Scotland does vote for independence, how will that affect what's left, being England and Wales and for now Northern Ireland?
Yeah.
Aye. No, they've said
no
that.
Plan B in place.
They reckon that the ball started rolling and it'll be very hard to stop it.
Where's that like? Where's Northern Ireland?
Aye, exactly.
Occupy 6.
That's
at North Belfast thinking.
See a thing as well. See in 10 years' time, say it's a yes vote, see in 10 years' time, we'll all hate the Scottish government as well for being corrupt.
I thought the year goal maybe be hitting.
Exactly. But the thing is, politicians will get in there, as Harper said, career politicians will get in there that are in it for their self-exposure and stuff like that. So there'll be plenty of things that we won't agree with, but that's just life. But then it's closer to home, we'll be able to deal with it, and the government that we vote for will get voted in.
See that thing that is there like a pre-vote you had to take, Jason, recently?
I've had nothing. I've just had I think you had to make sure you were registered, because our Joe, his girlfriend Fiona, she made sure she registered, so she's got a vote now.
Joe, you think the postal votes?
Oh, is that the postal votes? Is it right?
I see people put postal votes.
And by the way, I know some folks voted the postal vote, they voted no, and they want to vote yes now.
By the way, see if you've, I read a thing today, if you've voted no on the postal vote, and there's a link you can go to, and you can change your vote.
Really?
Is that right?
I saw it on Twitter today. It was one of the official sort of Scottish independence things. If you've done a postal vote and you've voted no and you want to change your mind, you can, because I don't know if your paper's got like a serial number or whatever, or however it works. I've no idea, but you can contact this number to your polling office or whatever it is, and you can change your vote.
Yeah,
I read that today.
How trustworthy is that, though?
Huh? Well, I had the link and everything.
No. I don't mean the link. I mean, like, changing the vote online. You know what I mean?
No, you can't change it online. It's only telling you the instructions. You've got to get in contact with your polling station.
Oh, okay.
You would have went to, and you can go and change your vote.
I thought it was like an online thing. Sorry.
No. This isn't the George W. Bush that's running things here.
So what's your plan for the day? What's your voting day plan, Jason?
My voting day. Wake up, go to work, come back, watch the hoops, and then walk around and vote. I'm voting at 10 o'clock, so it's only around the corner for me. So,
vote early and vote often.
What's that, mate?
I said vote early and vote often.
If I could, I would, mate. Don't worry. I maybe go before I go to work. I can walk around before I go to work. I maybe get in later on, just when I get in.
And you got to go in and vote for some underagers.
What is the voting age in Scotland?
16.
16? No, that's pretty good.
That's a big boost for the yes camp, because a lot of the kids will vote yes.
Plus you can round them up and go, right, fucking vote yes.
Buy your carrot and you vote yes.
With some party.
Yeah, absolutely. You're just on a big crate of Bacardi Breezers, handing them out to kids as they walk through the door. So anyway, folks, I think I've just done, is it?
Right.
I think it is.
I think I've just done.
I've still got 3/4 of gin and tonic.
Sing us a wee song then, Harper.
What was that? I will all go tonight.
It'll be great. I really hope it happens. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be nice to have a drink for Scotland on Friday night.
I'm still waiting on my posters. Hopefully they'll arrive tomorrow, Jason. And
I sent them last week.
This will be plastered and yes, posters. And I'll stick a few up in Sarsfields.
There you go, mate.
What was the protest at BBC the other day? Where was that?
It was just
Sunday. Yeah, it was just because of the disgraceful coverage of the BBC.
Where is the BBC located then in Scotland? Where is it?
It's out near Ibrox. It's across the water. Kind of at the science centre, across the Clyde to the town centre.
Did you not see Rennick's pictures?
I've seen the picture of him in the mirror.
I tell you, that's one guy whose health I worry for in this whole thing, because he posts something on Facebook every 10 minutes about it. I worry for him. It's an awful like.
I was getting to that stage as well. It kind of takes over your life. It's all you think about.
It's great though. I've noticed as well. I mean that the Catalan sort of vote, they're pushing to have it sort of pushed through to be an actual vote, because at the minute it's not an actual vote. Like,
did you see all the Scotland flags at the Barcelona game there yesterday?
No.
So somebody picked us up on Facebook, and there was loads of them they were flying a saltire at the game as well.
My daughter asked me a good question the other day when I was explaining this to her. She said, "Well, they have to take the Scottish flag off the Union Jack."
They'll have to.
They will, won't they?
I don't think they. I don't know. They can do it.
I mean, it's actually called a Union flag, not a Union Jack.
They can do what they want. They can make it that colour if they want. It's up to them.
I mean, that's the blue bit is the Scottish representation on the Union flag. Like. and will no longer be part of that union. So, tough to take off, huh? Tough to.
I don't know.
Yeah, I tell you what. I bet you
We'll make them.
I tell you what they'll do, right? What they're going to do is they're going to take it off and they're going to make all that Scottish money back by selling them fucking flags to idiots. It's going to happen. That's exactly what's going to happen.
They'll just go to Wales and say, by the way, you have now got blue in your flag.
Maybe they'll stick the Canadian flag in there or something. I mean,
The 10 people in Wales will go, oh, fuck, what are we going to do with this?
They'll be like, bah.
Oh, hey, come on.
Anyway, listen here. We wait to stop talking shit here. So, listen, if you're voting, and you should be voting, always vote. I always say, if you don't vote, don't complain. So, go out, vote yes. Vote for change. Don't be afraid. The future's uncertain anyway, so why not just go for it? I mean,
What was it Nelson Mandela said?
Vote for your hopes, not your fears.
yes. Oh no, something like that. Let your actions portray your hopes, not your fears. Something like that. I think I fucked that up. I think we both fucked that up anyway. God bless Nelson Mandela for whatever he said. So, folks, it's coming to the end of the show. We'll be back next Monday, hopefully with a win under Salzburg. So we're going to finish off.
Motherwell game on Sunday as well. So a bit of the good and bad of you, Jack.
Oh, Chris, do you know about this?
We finished the show with 3 times now.
Chris doesn't listen to our podcast, you can tell, you know.
I'm surprised anybody listens to our podcast.
Chris, we have a wee thing at the end called one good, one bad, and we go round the table. So I usually do it, so I'll go first to Jason. One good thing for the week.
One good thing for the week, the rise of the Yes campaign, stuff up there. But no, a good thing for the week. Good to see Celtic back with a couple of Ronnie Delia's new signings. And I think the Green Brigade are going to be back next week as well. So I think that's good as well. They've got their season ticket carry on sorted out and bring a better atmosphere back to Celtic Park. So good thing for me was hopefully we're going to start seeing the mark of Delia's team. And so that's a good thing for me because he's got a couple of signings in there. But the main thing for me is the referendum because it's too bloody important not to be. So
good or bad? Good. Honestly, seeing John Guidetti, I think I'm in love with this guy.
I think you are, right?
After watching it, I tell you, go and watch The Golden Year. It's on YouTube, right? Anybody out, go watch The Golden Year, John Guidetti. Some of it's in Dutch, right? But the stuff with Guidetti is all in English. And just him talking. And it's actually really interesting. Because he, really interesting guy. But seeing him, I was delighted to see him on the pitch. And he seems like a guy that's going through the business. So I've got high hopes. But then again, let me stipulate that I also said for 4 years, Chris Commons be Player of the Year, and he never was. So...
The year you didn't say he was.
He was. The year I was like, fuck Chris Commons, he became the hero. So, John Guidetti, I apologise for the fucking curse I put on your career from here on.
He's alright. He's met Paul and Tim already, so he's alright. He's good in it,
Paul,
Chris, one good thing for the week?
One good thing for the week is that Rangers were able to sell enough shares to keep them in business for at least another couple of months to give us more entertainment.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
My good thing will be the Empire is finished. That's genuinely my one good thing for the week. So Jason, your bad Jason, your bad thing.
My bad thing. The New York Mets season's finished. There you go.
You're going to be saying that every week for about the last 6 months.
I know, but it's official now.
Right, okay. Joe?
Bad thing for the week? Come back to me.
Right, Chris?
Bad thing for the week was that when I read all the obituaries after Mr. Paisley dying, it took the Alliance Party and John Cushnahan to be the only one that actually spoke the truth. Everybody else was very sanitized and he was a peacemaker and all the rest of it, and it took the Alliance guy to actually say what he really was.
What did they say?
Go read it. I wouldn't even repeat it. It was that good. Go read it. With the lead.
I will do.
My bad thing for the week then is just what we were talking about earlier. The seeming apathy towards Celtic being in Europa League. That really disappoints me if that's true. It might not be true, but if that's the way it's, and we're only going to have 30,000 the games, I'll be very disappointed in that. I think we need to rally behind the team, and this is I think a big competition for us this year, and I hope that if we get a good result on Thursday away from home, that'll maybe capture the imagination of the Celtic fans and maybe turn around the interest in the competition. But that's my bad thing. So, Joe?
I'm stumped. I can't think of a bad thing. Bad thing? Honestly, I can't think of anything.
Well, that's pretty bad for the hosts, so that'll do.
There you go.
No, that's good. That's good. If you kind of think of a bad thing, that's good, obviously.
I can think of several bad things. I fucking stomped my toe, I fell over, one of the kids spilled some shit, you know what I mean? But nothing that's going to upset me, like, you know what I mean?
Aye, that's good.
So,
Yeah. Right, okay, that's us.
That's us done. Vote yes, folks. Vote yes, vote often. Thank you very much, folks. It is always a pleasure. Lads, you want to say goodbye, Jason?
Just thanks to the Podfather for joining us tonight. A pleasure, mate.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Been too long. Really enjoyed it. And I actually now have a reason to go up on the 1st of November.
Perfect.
Oh, I happy days. I'll see you there, right? Plenty of money.
He's going to surf up on a big wave of oil.
Aye, he'll need to get his money exchanged at the border. Hey,
Okay,
There, listen, there, fucking, make sure you're coming there with smackaroonies when you get into Celtic Park.
aye, we'll be giving you a dodgy rate of smackaroonies. 0.93 what we get in London when you go and try and change Scottish money. That's true, by the way. See, you get into a Bureau de Change in London with a lot of Scottish notes. They give you 0.93 or something.
Can you still not spend Scottish notes in England?
You can, but it can be awkward. See if you get a pocket full of me and Linda done years ago, and I stupidly took money out of Glasgow Airport. So 200 quid or whatever. So we're down and we get into a pub and they're like, oh, we don't take Scottish 20s or whatever. I was like, what? So I had an English one and then went somewhere else and they said as well, we're not taking them. So I was walking by a Bureau de Change and I just went in and says, look, mate, can I change these for English ones? Aye, no bother. But you'll get 0.93. You'll be like,
no way, Jason.
honestly. And the
Yes,
guy,
kidding.
I swear to God, somebody put a video up in Facebook last week, and I replied to it. I says, that does happen. There's a Scottish guy getting it. See if you get into YouTube and type in Scottish guy trying to exchange money, you'll probably be able to see it. That's true, Chris. They
My
actually,
God.
aye, if you'd done it with Ulster Bank money as well, they would do the same.
I remember.
I just went to the self-checkout in Tesco's. Good to go.
Aye. I know. Aye, you don't pay there, but
Self-checkout and taxi drivers. Taxi drivers take anything.
aye.
Couple of bottles of chicken.
See, when I worked in the pub in Tullochutney, we never took Northern Irish banknotes.
I
The guy had the pub- the guy had
remember,
the
like,
pub.
I remember having to go visit Scotland, like when I was a kid, having like Northern notes and then Scottish notes, and both fucking notes seemed to have leprosy in certain places. You know what I mean? Nobody would take them off you.
The guy who owned the pub when I worked there didn't want them, so that was it.
That's bizarre. It's fucking bizarre. Anyway, listen, that's us done. We're finished. Good night, folks. We're gonna finish off with a wee bit of a Scottish tinge, a bit of Paolo Nutini singing Caledonia, because can't wait for.
I thought we were Vito and Paul Nutini.
Oh, I actually just read an article there, and he just basically, the article says that he hasn't made his mind up, and that he's just waiting for all the facts to come through. But see,
He's waiting to hear this show.
that's exactly what it is. But I get the feeling Paolo Nutini is just too fucking laid back to really give a shit. You know what I mean,
He's just doing the funky cigarettes, isn't he?
that's all exactly. We've heard that song. You know what I mean, so listen,
I just had another funky cigarette.
he vote yes. He has to vote yes. Right? Anyway, listen, enough of this pish. Good night, folks. Hail, hail. Good luck.
Yeah, good night.
Who's it teeing the part? Magic. Okay, sing this if you know it, please. I don't know if you can see the changes that have come over me in these last few days. I've been afraid that I might drift away. So I've been telling old stories and singing old songs. It makes me think about where I came from, and that's the reason why I seem so far away today. Let me tell you that I love you, and that I think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling me, and now I'm going home. And if I should become a stranger, you know that it would make me more than sad. Caledonia, you're the best friend I've ever had. I have moved, and I've kept on moving, and I've proved the points that I needed proving, and I've lost the friends that I needed losing, and I've found others on the way. And I've kissed a lady and left some crying, stolen dreams, oh there's no denying, and I've partied out with my coattails flying somewhere in the wind. Let me tell you that I love you, and that I think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling me, and now I'm going home. And if I should become a stranger, you know that it will make me more than sad. Caledonia, you're the best friend I've ever had. Let me tell you that I love you, that I think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling me, and now I'm going home. And if I should become a stranger, you know that it will make me more than sad. Caledonia, you're the best friend I've ever had. Caledonia, you're the best friend I've ever had.